Hey guys, in this training series, I'm going to teach you step by step how to make a website with WordPress. I'm also going to explain the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org. And at the very end, I'm going to show you how you can apply some SEO to optimize your website for search engines. Alright, let's get started. Before we get started on how to build a website with WordPress, it is important to know the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org. Now, when you use WordPress.com, your website is already hosted for you. All you need to do is sign up for an account and you're ready to go. You can think of WordPress.com like you're renting a house. However, with WordPress.org, you need to find a web host to host your website. A web host basically gives you a little area on the internet where you can upload your website to make it visible to the world. You can think of WordPress.org like you own the house. WordPress.com is fully maintained and controlled by the WordPress staff, but with the .org, you maintain and have full control of your website. This means that WordPress.com lacks customization and flexibility, especially when you compare it to WordPress.org. Also, WordPress.com is part of a larger network of blogs, whereas in WordPress.org, the site is independent. Let's take a look at the domain name differences for the two types of WordPress. Just so you know, a domain name is the address name of your website. So for example, my domain name is www.peterstavro.com. Now, if you decide to go with WordPress.com, your domain name by default will look like this. But with WordPress.org, you need to register your own domain name. Now the main difference between the two is that with WordPress.com, it is very expensive to buy a domain name. But with WordPress.org, buying a domain name is very cheap. You can usually get one for around $13. Another thing we need to look at is storage space. With WordPress.com, you get 3 GB free storage space. With WordPress.org, you need to find a web host, but almost all hosting services offer more than 3 GB of storage space. With WordPress.com, you can buy additional space, but buying space is much more expensive than buying space for your own hosted website. Themes are very closely related to customization. WordPress.com has a limited selection of free themes, whereas WordPress.org has thousands of free and premium themes available. Premium themes with WordPress.com cost much more, and they are not very unique when you compare them to the themes available in WordPress.org, in which you can use to make your website look very unique. Plugins are also related to customization, and they basically allow you to easily add additional functionality to your website. A contact form, for example. In WordPress.com, there are no plugins available, but with WordPress.org, there are thousands of free and premium plugins. Also with WordPress.com, there is limited opportunities for new features and functionalities, unlike in WordPress.org, where you can add any feature or functionality that you want. Lastly, let's talk about making money. With WordPress.com, you are not allowed to have any ads, but they display their own ads on your website. With WordPress.org, you can basically do whatever you want, which is why I highly recommend that you use WordPress.org and not WordPress.com. In this video, what we're going to do is download WordPress. So go to your internet browser. I'm using Firefox. And go to google.com. In the Google search bar, type in WordPress download. And it should be the first page that comes up. Once you click on the WordPress website, on the right hand side you will see a button that says Download WordPress. Click on that. If you're using Firefox, make sure you select Save to File so you can select where you want to save it. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Okay, so now that we've downloaded WordPress, let's go ahead and install it. In the previous video, we downloaded WordPress. We're now going to upload it to our web host using the cPanel. Go to your web browser and type in your website's URL in the address bar, but at the very end, type /cPanel and click enter. You should now see the cPanel login page that looks like this or very similar. Type in the username and password that was provided by your hosting service and press the login button. Here you will see many different web options, but the one we are interested in at the moment is the File Manager. Once you find the File Manager, click on it and a box will pop up. When it does, click on Go. This is the online area where all the files from your website are going to be stored. Let's go ahead and upload WordPress. Click on Upload and then browse to where you saved your copy of WordPress and press Open. You are now uploading WordPress to the internet, and you can see the status of the upload down here. Once your upload has finished, click on the Go Back link. As you can see, you have now uploaded WordPress, but it's compressed in a zip file. Let's go ahead and extract the files from the zip. Click on the WordPress file you uploaded and click on Extract. Then click on Extract Files. This box shows you all the files that you extracted from the zip. Click on Close. You might not see anything at the moment, but that's because we haven't refreshed the page. First, let's delete the WordPress zip as it takes up space and is no longer required. Make sure it is highlighted and click on Delete. Then Delete Files. Now let's refresh the page by clicking on Reload. As you can see, a folder has been created, and that's where all the files from your WordPress website are stored. Now double click on the folder, and here you can see all the files that belong to WordPress. Now, there is one last thing we need to do. If you visit your website now, you will notice that there is a link named WordPress, and once you click on it, it will load the WordPress installation. This means that currently your website will not load straight away once a user visits your website, but it will load once they click on the link. This is because when we extracted the WordPress zip file, all of the files were extracted into a folder called WordPress. To fix this, we need to move all of the WordPress files into the main directory, which is public_HTML. We first need to select all of the files. We can do this by clicking on Select All. Once all of the files have been highlighted blue, click on the Move File button at the top. In the path field, delete everything after public_HTML. Once your path looks like this, click on the Move Files button. The directory should now be empty, and because all of your files have been moved into the main directory, which means if you visit your website now, your WordPress installation will load straight away, which also means that once a user visits your URL, your website will load straight away. Since we do not need the WordPress folder anymore, let's go ahead and delete it. Click on the Back button to go to your main directory. Here you will see all of your WordPress files. Click on your WordPress folder and then click on the Delete button. Congratulations! You have now just uploaded your first WordPress website. FTP is another way you can use to access your files on your web host. In this video, we are going to use FTP to upload WordPress instead of the cPanel. Whether you use FTP or the cPanel really comes down to personal preference. To allow us to set up our FTP access, we first need the configuration settings. We can get these by going to the cPanel and clicking on FTP accounts. This area here is used to create a new FTP account. This is useful if you have multiple websites on your web host, but want to limit someone's access to only one of the websites. Since you own the web host, you don't want to have any restrictions. So what we're going to do is scroll down to the bottom to where it says Special FTP Accounts. There you should see the username that you use to log into your cPanel. On the right hand side, click on Configure FTP Client. This will show you the settings you need to put into your FTP client to be able to connect to your web server. Now I'm going to minimize my web browser to go to my FTP client. The FTP client I use and recommend is FileZilla, and I've put a link to this program in the description below. Once you open FileZilla, click on this little button here. This will bring up the Site Manager. The Site Manager is where you can insert your FTP configuration settings. As you can see, I've already got FTP set up for 3 different websites. Yours should just be blank. Click on New Site and name it. I'm going to name mine peterstavro.com, so I know that these FTP settings are used to connect to my peterstavro.com website. Here's where I'm going to enter the configuration settings which we previously saw on the cPanel. Once you've entered your settings, click on Connect. Okay, here we go. We have just connected to the web host. As you can see, there's nothing in there yet, but that is where we're going to upload our WordPress file. To upload it, go to your WordPress file and simply drag it into this box. Down here, you will see your WordPress file being uploaded to your web host. Once it's finished uploading, you will see it here. You can also check if your upload was successful by clicking on this tab here. Here you can see your successful upload history. Okay, so we have now successfully uploaded the file using FTP, but it is still zipped. The most reliable way to unzip the file is to follow the steps we used in the previous video. Go back to your cPanel. Click on File Manager and press Go. As you can see, the WordPress file you just uploaded using FTP is here. Click on it and click on Extract, then click on Extract Files. Again, once the WordPress zip has been extracted, you can go ahead and delete it to save space on your web server. Press Reload and voila, the folder is there. We now just need to move the files into the public_HTML directory like we did in the previous video. Now that we've uploaded WordPress, let's go ahead and install it. Open up your web browser and go to your website. Select your language and press Continue. Have a quick read and press the Let's Go button. Here we need to enter our database name, the database username, and the database password. Let's go and set up a database. Go to your cPanel as we discussed in the previous videos. I'm going to do this by opening a new tab. Once you've logged in, scroll down and click on MySQL Databases. Enter the database name you would like to use. I recommend that you use a name that if you have multiple websites, you will be able to know which database belongs to which website. Once you've entered your database name, click on Create Database. Once you see this page, it means your database has been created. Click on Go Back. In the area below, you will be able to see your database. Now we need to make a user for that specific database. Scroll down to where it says Add a new user and type in a username. I usually use the same name as the database. Enter a strong password or click on Password Generator to have a password generated for you. If everything was okay, you will see this page. Click on the Go Back button. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and under Users, you will be able to see the user that you just created. Now we need to add the user to the database. Select the user and then select the database and click on Add. Tick the All Privileges box and click on Make Changes. You should then get a message saying that your changes were successful. Now let's go back to your WordPress setup. Type in the database name you just created. Type in the username. And then type in the password. Leave the two boxes below as they are and click on Submit. If everything was okay, it will give you a button to run the installation. Click on the button. Now this is where we configure WordPress. Type in your site's title and then type in a username and password that you would like to use to log into your WordPress website. You will also need to provide your email so you can get important notifications related to your website, and you will also be able to reset your password if you forget it. Once you've done that, click on Install. Once WordPress is finished installing, you will see this page. Click on the login button and enter your username and password. You can also tick Remember Me if you don't want to always type it in. Click on Login, and voila! Welcome to the back end of your WordPress website. Now, if you log out and go to your website's URL address, you will be able to see your current website. To access the back end of your website, simply just type /wp-admin at the end of your URL address and log in. Another way to see your website is by clicking on your website's title, which is located at the top left-hand side. The first thing I recommend you do when you install WordPress is to change the permalinks. Changing your permalinks will make all the links on your page make sense to us, and will also improve search engine optimization. To do this, go into your admin panel and scroll down to where it says Settings, and then click on Permalinks. Once the page loads, you will be able to see that your permalink setting is set to default. This means that every page on your website will have a similar URL to this. It doesn't really make any sense. The best settings for permalinks is post name. As you can see in the example, every page on your website will have a URL address that makes sense to us and to search engines. Once you've made your changes, don't forget to save your settings. So, what is a WordPress theme? A theme is basically the design aspect of your website. It's the particular style that you want your website to have. This is another one of my websites, and this is what I'm going to teach you to create. The website is going to look like this. It's going to have this style, this design. If you want to have a better look at the website, then please go to www.bestofnetworkmarketing.net. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get your website to be laid out like this. Click on the title of your website, which is located on the top left-hand corner, to go to the admin area. Scroll down to Appearance and click on Themes. The theme that I am using is called Point, and you can tell that it is currently being used because it says it's active. The default theme for when you install WordPress is currently 2015. So if you have just installed WordPress, then this is the theme that you are currently using. I'm going to change it back to this theme by pressing Activate. As you can see, the 2015 theme is now active, so this means that my website is currently using the 2015 theme. I'm going to go ahead and delete the Point theme so I can show you how to install it. To delete the theme, I'm simply going to click on it, and this will bring up all the theme's details. I'm just going to scroll down and click on Delete. It is no longer there, so let's go ahead and install it again. Go to google.com and search for Point WordPress theme. click on the first link that comes up. Here you can see all the information about the theme. Keep in mind that we are currently on the official WordPress.org website. There are thousands of free themes on here. Here is a link to the theme's official homepage. Down here, you can see the theme's rating. If you click on one of these links, you can also read reviews that other people have written about the theme. Let's go ahead and download it by clicking on the download button. Save the file to a location you'll remember. I'm going to save mine to the desktop. And here it is. So what we are going to do now is upload and install the theme. Let's go back to the admin area of our WordPress site. Under the theme area, click on Add New. Here there are more themes that you can use by simply putting your mouse over them and clicking on Activate. However, since the point theme is not found here, we are going to go ahead and upload it. Click on Upload Theme and then browse to wherever you saved the file. Click on it and press Open, or double click it. Then click on Install Now. Once the theme has been installed, you need to activate it. Here we go. The point theme has now been installed and is activated. If you go to your website now, you will see that your design has changed. There are thousands of free WordPress themes out there, and you can easily find them by going to Google and doing a quick search. I'm going to type in free WordPress themes as an example. The first site that comes up is our official WordPress site. Then there are all these other websites that are offering free themes. With this many results, I'm sure you'll find something out there that you'll like. In the previous video, I showed you how to download and upload themes. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can find and install free themes straight from your WordPress admin panel. Now, keep in mind that by doing it straight from WordPress, you can only find themes that are already on the official WordPress website. This means that you will not be able to find premium themes or themes that have not been added to the official site. I've gone ahead and removed the point theme that we installed in the previous video, so we can start from the default theme. Go to your admin area and go down to Appearance, and then click on Themes. As you can see, these are the default themes that have currently been installed along with WordPress. Let's add a new one by clicking on Add New. Now, if you scroll down, you will be able to see all of the themes that are currently being featured. You can also use this menu here to view themes that are popular or new. You can use the feature filter to do an advanced search to only show themes that meet your requirements. Another thing you can do is search for a theme. For example, if you want to see what themes are available that relate to business, you can do a search for business. Now, in the previous video, we installed the point theme by uploading it to WordPress. Seeing as the point theme is also available on the official WordPress website, we can install it straight from the WordPress admin panel. To do this, search for point. As you can see, It is the first theme that comes up. If you want, you can see a preview of the theme by clicking on the preview button. Once you preview the theme, you can install it by clicking on this install button. You can also install it without previewing the theme. You can do this by clicking on the install button here. Once it has been installed, click on activate. Just so you are aware, some themes recommend that you install certain plugins. These are optional, and for this training series, we do not need to install these recommended plugins. In WordPress, we have posts and we have pages. So what is the difference between the two? I'm going to go to one of my other websites and show you. Now all these on the front page are posts. Posts are basically articles that you create. I'm going to click into this post so you can see this in more detail. This is another post. If you are running a blog, then you will have many posts and just a few pages. Pages are static, like this downloads page for example. About Us is also another page. Contact is also a page. If you have a website that doesn't change, then it will be made up of just pages. If you have a website that includes a blog, like this one for example, it will be made up of pages and posts. In the previous video, we discussed the difference between posts and pages. Now let's go ahead and make them. First, click on Pages. If you have just freshly installed WordPress, you will see this sample page. Go ahead and delete it by pressing on Trash. Now that it's been deleted, scroll up and click on Add New Page. Enter the title of the page you want to create. I'm going to create a page called About Me. Down here is where you write the content that you want displayed on the page. Okay, now over here you can see the page's status. It is currently a draft. You can set the page's visibility, so you can make it available to the public, you can password protect it, or you can make it private. You can also schedule when you want to publish the page. This is a great feature if you would like to pre-write something and post it while you're not at the computer. We are going to skip page attributes for now and go straight down to featured image. Now, featured image is an image that is displayed when the post is shared on social media, Facebook for example. Some WordPress themes, like Point, which is the one we are using now, show a thumbnail of an image when you create a post. I will show you this in just a few minutes. Let's finish creating the page by clicking on the Publish button. Since the page has now been published, Let's go and see what it looks like. And here it is. Have you noticed that we currently have no menus up here for our page? To add the About Me page on the menu, go back to your admin area. Scroll down to Appearances and click on Menus. Type in the name of your menu. I'm just going to name mine Main. Then click the Create Menu button. We have now created the menu, and now we need to add our page to it. On the left hand side, under Pages, you will see the About Me page. Tick it and press Add to Menu. The page has now been added to the menu. Now down here, you can select where you want the menu you just created to appear. Primary menu is displayed at the top, and footer is displayed at the bottom. We want the About Me page to be shown on the top menu, so tick Primary Menu. Then press on the Save Menu button. As you can see here, the menu changes have been saved. Let's go to our website and see what it looks like now. And there we go. The About Me page has been added to the top menu. Next, I'm going to show you how to remove this comment box from your page. Go back to the admin panel, click on Pages, and click on your page. On the top right hand corner, there is a little tab that says Screen Options. Click on it and you will get some additional options. Go to Discussions and tick the box. Now scroll down to the bottom of the page and you will see a Discussions area. Untick Allow Comments. I recommend that you also untick Allow Trackbacks and Pingbacks. You can click on the link to learn more about these, or you can watch one of my other videos where I go more into detail. Click on Update and then click on View Page. There we go, the comment box is now gone. Since we now know how to make pages, let's go ahead and make a post. Go back to the admin panel and click on Post. If you have just installed WordPress, you will have this post that has been created by default. Go ahead and delete it. Now click on Add New and give your post a title. Scroll down to the box and write some content for your post. Here you can see the link to this post. If you want to change it, simply click on Edit. If you are seeing a link with numbers that doesn't make sense, then you will need to change your permalinks to post name. We've already discussed this in one of the previous videos. Here we have the same options that we saw in Pages. Categories allow you to group your posts. I will be teaching you more about these in another video that is coming up. Tags are keywords that allow you to group related posts together, and they can also quickly tell readers what the post is about. I'm going to write First WordPress Post and click Add. Now let's add a featured image for this post. Click on the link Press the Select Files button and select the image you want to use. I'm just going to use this image. Give the image a title. It's really up to you if you want to give it a caption. You can experiment with this and see how it turns out. For now, I'm going to leave it blank. Alt text. This is very important. Alt text is the text that pops up when you hover your mouse over an image on a website. This is important because if the image has been deleted or cannot be found, then at least whoever was viewing your website can see the text and know what the image was about. It is also used by search engines because they can't visually see the image, so they use alt text to see what the image is about. I'm just going to use my picture title for this as well. Once you're done, click on Set Featured Image. Here you can see that the featured image has been set. Go up, press on Publish, and then view your post. Now, since we don't have a home button, I'm going to go to the address bar and go to the main site, which is peterstavro.com. And here we go. You can see how the featured image we set is being used by the point theme. Up here is the featured post. We only have one post at the moment, which is why it's showing here. Also, if you scroll down to latest, you will see your latest post, which is the one you just created. Like I said, don't worry about the uncategorized writing at the moment. We are going to change this in the next few videos. Click on the link to go to your post. As you can see, the comment box is here as well. If you want to remove it, simply follow the same steps as we did when we removed it on Pages. I know this is annoying, so in another video coming up, I will be showing you how to turn off the comment box by default. And there we go, the comment box is now gone. Let's say we also want to remove this box here, about the author. Go back to the admin panel, go down to Appearance, and click on Theme Options. On this page, click on Single Post, and at the bottom, you should see Author box. Click on it to turn it off, and press Save Changes. Voila! It's gone, and the post now looks clean. Editing content in posts and pages is very similar to editing content in Microsoft Word. Take note that every time you put your mouse over a function, writing pops up to help you identify what exactly it does. The first thing you want to do is click on the little square icon, which is called Toolbar Toggle. This expands your Tools menu and gives you another line of functions. Okay, let's start editing some content. I'm going to make this text bold, this text italic, this text red, and add a hyperlink to this text. To make this text bold, highlight it by holding the left mouse button and sliding it across. Then press the B icon. To make this text italic, highlight it and select the eye icon. To make this text red, highlight it and press the down arrow which is located next to the A and select red. Lastly, to add a hyperlink to this text, select the clip icon. Now with hyperlinking, you have some options. You can link to an external website by writing a website name here. I'm going to use my website, peterstavro.com, as an example. I'm going to give it a title, which is the writing that appears when someone puts their mouse over it. You can also choose to make the link open in a new window. Another option is to link to an existing post or page that you have already created. You can do this by clicking on the down arrow and selecting the page you would like to link to. As you can see, by doing this, it automatically fills the URL and title field for you. Once you're done, click on the Add Link button to create the link. Okay, so now we can see the changes that we have just made to the content. The reason you can see this is because you're currently modifying the content under the Visual tab. Under the Text tab, you can see the HTML code for the changes you have just made. Here is the HTML code for the bold text. This is the code for the italic text, the code for the red text, and the code for the hyperlink. If you wanted to, you can use this area to insert your own code. For example, if you wanted to make text bold using code, you would write this. Now if we go back to Visual, you can see the bold text we created using code. You may be asking, why would someone use the Text tab if they can simply just use the Visual tab? The reason is, by coding, it offers developers a lot more flexibility, which allows them to do things that they cannot do by using the default WordPress toolbox. By default, every time you make a WordPress page or post, they automatically have a comment box at the bottom. Having to remove the comment box manually every time can get a bit annoying, so I'm going to show you how to disable the comment box by default. Go down to Settings and click on Discussion. By unticking this, you will disable pingbacks and trackbacks by default. By unticking this, you will disable the comment box from appearing, unless you manually enable it on that specific page or post. Let's go ahead and untick them both. Scroll down to the bottom and press the Save button. Now go to Posts and select Add New. As you can see, both of these features are now disabled by default. We currently have one menu button, which is About Me. We are now going to go through and learn how to add more menu links up here. Let's start by adding a contact page on the menu. Go to your admin area, scroll down to Pages, and click on Add New. In the page title, write Contact. In the content area, I'm going to write Fill in the form below to contact me. Now go ahead and click on the Publish button. Let's go to the contact page to see what it looks like at the moment. And here we go. This is our contact page. Please note that I will be teaching you how to add the form to this page in one of the upcoming videos. Okay, so what we want to do now is to add a link to this page on our top menu up here. Go back to the admin area. Scroll down to Appearance and click on Menus. Tick the contact page and press Add to Menu. The contact page has now been added to the menu. You can reorder your menu by left-clicking on one of these objects and dragging them to where you would like them to be. Click on Save Menu and go take a look at your website now. There we go. We now also have the contact page in the top menu. If you scroll down, you will see that these pages are also on the bottom menu. This is because a bottom menu has not yet been created. Let's go and create it. Go back to the Menus area. Click on Create a new menu. You can name it anything you want. I'm going to name it Footer. Click on the Create Menu button. We have now created our new menu. Let's add the contact page to it. And there we go. The page has now been added to the menu. Now to add the menu to the bottom of the website, tick Footer menu and press the Save button. Let's go and take a look at the website now. Here is the footer menu that we just created. Since you now know how to add pages to the top and bottom menus, I'm going to teach you how to add a home button. The process of adding a home button is a little different to what we just did. Let's go ahead and add the home page to the menu the same way we added the other pages, just so we can see what happens. Go to Pages and click on Add New. Type Home as the title. In the content area, I'm going to write, "This is the home page." Now, take a look at the URL area. As you can see, the home page is now linking to peterstavro.com/home. However, a home page is the main page of the website, so the URL for it needs to be peterstavro.com. Click on Publish Page. Now go back to the menus. We want the home button to be on the top menu. Since we are currently in the footer menu, we need to change it to primary menu, which is the top menu. Click on the Select button. Select the home page and click Add to Menu. Let's drag the home page to the top so it's the first page on the menu. Click Save and go view the website. As you can see, we have now added the home page to the menu. However, if we click on it, it takes us to peterstavro.com/home, which is an actual page instead of taking us to peterstavro.com. If we click on the home link, we should see the page we first started on, which is this. This is the home page. Now, let's say that instead of having your latest blog post on the home page, you just wanted to have a static page. You can set this by going to the admin area, going down to Settings, and clicking on Reading. At the very top, You can select if you want to have your latest post to be shown on the homepage of your website, or if you want to have a static page. Let's set a static page. Click on Static, then select the homepage we created not long ago. Click on Save Changes. Now if you go to your website, mine is peterstavro.com, you will see that the actual home page is now the page that we just created. Can you see that in the URL there is no /home? I am now going to show you how to correctly add a home button to the website style we had before. Let's change the website back to show the latest post on the home page. Go back to Reading Settings and select your latest posts. Go to Pages and delete the home page by clicking on Trash. Go to Menus. Click on Home. You can see here that this is a page. Click on Remove. Now on the left hand side, click on Links. In the URL area, type in your website's address. In the link text, type Home and click on Add to Menu. Drag the Home button to the top. Take note that here it says Custom and not Page. What we have just done is created a button named Home, which links back to a home page. Clicking on the down arrow shows the details of that button. Click the Save Menu button and go take a look at your website. As you can see, the Home button is highlighted by default as you are currently on the home page. If you take a look at the URL, it says peterstavro.com and not peterstavro/home like it did before. Let's see the Home button in action. In this theme, the categories are shown on the thumbnail of each post. As you can see here, this post does not yet belong to any category. Let's go and create a category for this post. Go back into your admin panel. Go down to Posts and click on Categories. The uncategorized category is made by default. If a post has not been put into a category, it automatically goes into here. The count is the number of posts inside that specific category. At the moment, we only have one post. If you click on the number, it shows you every post inside that category. You can see the title of the post here, and you can see which category it is in over here. Let's go back to the categories area and create a new category. Enter the name you would like to use for your new category. I'm just going to write WordPress. Slug is the name used in the category's URL. I recommend you leave this blank as WordPress automatically fills this in for you. I'm going to skip the parent option. I'm also going to skip the description and click on Add New Category. I'm now going to go through the same process and create one more category. As you can see here, the slug for these two categories have automatically been created. Let's go ahead and add our post to one of these categories. Click on All Posts, and then click onto your post. On the right hand side, untick Uncategorized and tick the category you would like to place your post into. Posts can be put into multiple categories, but I'm just going to select one, WordPress. Click on Update to save the changes you just made to the post. Let's create one more post and add it into the SEO category. Click on Add New. Type in a post title. I'm going to write How to Rank High on Google. In the content area, I'm going to write, if you would like to rank high on Google, visit www.peterstavro.com. Let's put this post into the SEO category. We have previously discussed tags, so let's go ahead and practice adding some into our new post. I'm going to write SEO Google rank. We have also previously discussed featured image. Let's practice adding this as well. I'm going to upload a different image for this post. Fill in the title and add an alt text for the image. There we go. We have now also added a featured image. Click on Update to save the post, and then go take a look at it by clicking on View Post. This is the post we have just created. Can you see that under title it says SEO? That is the category that it's in. Go to your home page by clicking on Home. See how the featured image has now changed to our latest post? Also, if you scroll down, you can see that the category name on the thumbnail has changed too. This now says SEO and this says WordPress. Another useful thing you can do with categories is to add them as menus. Go to your admin panel and click on Menus. As we have previously discussed, this section is for posts and pages, so we are not interested in this section at the moment. Go down and click on Links. In the URL field, put a hash. In the link text, type training. Now the reason why we put a hash is so that the training menu button does not link anywhere. This means when people click on it, nothing happens. You will see the purpose of this in just a minute. Click on Add to Menu and place the training menu where you would like it to be. I'm going to put mine here, just after the Home button. Click on Categories and tick the ones you would like to show on your menu. I'm going to select both, the WordPress category and the SEO category, and then click on Add to Menu. As you can see, they have both been added. Take note that you can tell that this is a category by looking here. Drag the WordPress and SEO categories up under training, but drag them a little to the right so that they both become a sub-item. Adding these as sub-items basically means that these links will be shown when someone hovers their mouse over training. Now, this is where the hash we added as the URL comes into play. The training menu is not an actual link. You can think of it as a heading that you can use to display your categories under. Let's save the menu and go to a website so we can visually see what we have just done. See how the menu pops down when we hover our mouse over it? I'm now going to click on training. See how it doesn't link anywhere? You can see that I've clicked on it because the hash is now shown in the address bar. Let's go and click on one of our categories under the training menu. Clicking on WordPress will bring up all the posts that were put in the WordPress category. Clicking on SEO will bring up all the posts that are in the SEO category. We previously created this contact page. We are going to use a plugin to add a contact form down here. Plugins are basically add-ons that give your website additional functionality. Go to your admin panel and click on Plugins. These two plugins are installed by default. I recommend using Akismet as it protects your blog from spam. Now, Hello Dolly on the other hand is completely useless, and I'm not sure why it has been added into WordPress. I'm going to go ahead and delete it by ticking the box and pressing on delete. A thing to note here is that you can only delete inactive plugins. If we press the active button and then try to delete the plugin, it would not work. You first need to deactivate the plugin and then click on delete. When you delete a plugin, you will see this page, which asks you if you are sure you want to delete the plugin or plugins. Click on the Yes button. As you can see, the plugin is now gone. Go ahead and activate Akismet. To completely activate this plugin, you will need to get a key by clicking on the Activate button up here. This is 100% free to do. Since this is very simple, I'm not going to go through this process, but just keep in mind that it is free. I say this because some people struggle to find the free option, but it is definitely there. Anyways, let's move on. Click on Add New. Here you can see a list of plugins that are freely available to you. Down here, you can see plugins that are featured, popular, recommended, or marked as your favorites. Go to the search box on the right hand side and type in Contact Form 7 and press enter. As you can see, there are many different contact form plugins, but the one I highly recommend is Contact Form 7. If you click on the plugin's name, a page will pop up that tells you everything about the plugin. As you can see up here, we are currently in the description tab. Next is the installation tab, which tells you how to install the plugin. You can see screenshots. You can see the changelog to see what has been added in the latest version. There is a frequently asked questions area, and most importantly, there are user reviews. Down here, you can also see the plugin's average rating. Let's go ahead and install the plugin by clicking on the Install Now button. Once the plugin has been installed, click on Activate Plugin. Contact Form 7 has now been added to the plugin list. It has also created a new menu for us on the left hand side. Go to it and click on Contact Forms. With this plugin, you can add multiple contact forms, but we are going to keep this simple and work with the existing one, which is Contact Form 1. If you did want to add a new form, you could do so by going up here and clicking on Add New. Click on Contact Form 1 or on the edit link. Now this is where you create your contact form. Down here is where you set the mailing settings for the form. The To field is where you want the information that has been entered in the form to be emailed to. The From field is who it was sent from. Notice how there is your name in brackets? That is the code that replaces whatever has been entered in the Your Name field. This is the email subject of the email that will be sent out. Again, the subject is obtained from a field in the form. Additional headers is where you can add CC or BCC headers to your email. I'm just going to make this blank. Over here on the right is the actual email that is sent to you. Can you see how there are words in brackets? That is the code to grab information from the specific fields in the form. This will make more sense shortly when we go through the code above. I'm going to remove this as I don't want it at the bottom of my emails. Down here are the messages that are displayed once someone clicks on the send button. There is a lot to go through, so for now, I'm just going to leave them as they are. Let's scroll back up to look at the code. This is the area where you make the form for people to submit information in. If you don't know anything about coding, then all you need to look at is the writing. For example, in this piece of code, your email, brackets, required, is the writing that is going to be shown above the field where the user can enter their email. Below that, in brackets, is email with the star. Email means that the field is expecting an email to be entered here. The star means that that field is compulsory. If this field is left empty, or if it is not an email, then the user will be asked to fill in the missing or invalid information and try again. Your email is the variable that allows you to take the email that has been entered into the field and put it in the email we saw below. I know that this might be a little confusing at the moment, so let's go ahead and create another field. Copy the email code and paste it below. Now go to the right hand side and click on Generate Tag. This will give you a list of different types of fields that you can use on your form. I'm going to select a URL field. I want this field to be optional, so I'm not going to tick "Is this field required?" I'm going to change the name to something more meaningful, like website URL. These are all optional options you can play with. I'm just going to skip them and go down to where it says copy this code and paste it into the form left. So I'm going to do exactly what it says. Copy the code and paste it in the form on the left. I'm going to paste it over the existing code we previously copied. Now I'm going to change the writing that is displayed above this field to your website URL. There is one more thing we need to do before the website URL is sent to us, and that is include it in the code in the email. We can do this by copying and pasting this code into the email field below. Here's our email. I'm just going to place this above the message body. First I'm going to type some text so it formats nicely in the email and so I know what it is. Website URL. Next to it, I'm going to paste the code we copied just before. Now that you have some idea of what's going on, let's run through the existing code. Brackets, your name, brackets. This code in the email is linked to this code in the form. This is linked to this. This is linked to this. And this is linked to this. Let's go ahead and save our changes. As you can see up here, the contact form has been saved. Now all we need to do is copy this code here into the page we want the form to be displayed on. Go ahead and copy it and then go to your contact page. We want to place the form here. Since this is code, click on the Text tab. And simply paste it here. Click on Update and go view the contact page. Voila! Your form has now been created. I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. See how it says URL invalid? This is because we picked URL under the Generate Tag menu. This uses validation rules to make sure that a URL is put into this field. The reason why the URL is not valid in this case is because URLs start with http://. Let's try now. And there we go. The message has been sent successfully. Widgets are another form of plugins. They are also used to provide your website with additional functionality. The difference between widgets and plugins is that the additional functionality that plugins provide sometimes run in the backend and is only seen by the admin of the website. Widgets, on the other hand, are plugins that are always visible to the public. Here are some examples of different widgets that are currently active on this website. These widgets here are usually active by default. Let's go into the admin area and take a closer look at widgets. Scroll down to Appearance and click on Widgets. On the right hand side, you can see the widgets that are currently being displayed on the website. Let's go ahead and remove the default ones so we can add some better ones. To remove them, simply left click on them and drag them out of the box. Now that we have removed all the widgets, let's go and take a look at the website. As you can see, Search, Archives and Meta are still showing. This is because if there are no widgets in the sidebar, then these are displayed by default. Let's go back into the admin area and install a cool widget so we can get an idea of what type of widgets are available and how to use them. Scroll down to Plugins and click on Add New. In the search box, type Easy Facebook Likebox and press Enter. We are going to install the first one because it has the best rating and the most downloads. You can see here that this plugin can also be used as a widget. Let's install it. Once it has been installed, make sure you activate it. Now go back to the widgets area. If you take a look under Available Widgets, you will see the Easy Facebook like box we just installed. Left click on it and drag it into the sidebar box. Now that the widget has been activated, let's go ahead and configure it. In the title, I'm going to write "Like Me." In the Facebook URL, I'm just going to paste my Facebook fan page URL. Application ID is optional, so I'm going to skip it. Width, I'm going to write 289 because I know that this width works best for this theme. If you are using a different theme, then you will probably need to play around with the width to get it looking the best it can be. I want to use the default height for the widget, so I'm going to leave it blank. Then there are some other options you can play around with to get the Facebook like box to look how you would like it. Just for your information, if you copy and paste the shortcode into the text tab of a page or a post, it will display the Facebook like box in that specific page or post, as well as the sidebar. Click on Save and go take a look at your website. And there we go. Here is the Facebook widget we just added. Let's go ahead and add one more widget. Go to your admin panel and go back down to Plugins, and then Add New. In the search box, type Special Recent Post and press Enter. Install this plugin. Activate it. Then go back into the widgets area. Scroll down until you find the Special Recent Posts widget that we just added. Left click on it and drag it into the sidebar box above. Again, this widget gives us options, so let's go ahead and configure it. Under widget title, I'm going to write Recent Posts. This widget is very flexible, and as you can see, it gives you a lot of options that you can play with. Click on Save and then go view your website. As you can see, under the Facebook like box, we have now added Recent Posts. Here are the two posts that we created earlier in this WordPress training series. If you click on one of these posts in the widget area, it will take you to the actual post. Even though we took a look at the options available to us in the widget area, there are actually more options within the plugin itself. Let's quickly take a look at this. Go back to the admin area and click on Plugins. Can you see that the Easy Facebook like box and Special Recent Posts both have a settings link? If you click on this, you will be given even more options. Keep in mind that changing the settings on the plugin will also affect the widget. Also, another thing to note here is that by clicking on the settings under the plugin area, we will link to another section that was created when we installed the plugin and is available to us now on the sidebar. This training series was to teach you how to make a WordPress website that has the same style as bestofnetworkmarketing.net. As you have probably realized, you have come a very long way. However, there is still some final touches that we need to make to get it looking like the bestofnetworkmarketing.net website. First of all, we need to remove this up here, the now trending. We also need to remove the featured post, which is this big image here. This area down here needs to be removed as well, and so does the copyright info at the very bottom. Let's go ahead and do this. Go to your admin panel, scroll down to Appearance, and click on Theme Options. The Themes option area allows you to easily modify your theme. Please note that different themes have different options, and in different themes, the options area may be located somewhere else and not under Appearances. Now scroll down until you see the Trending option. Here. Go ahead and also untick the Homepage Featured section. This will completely remove this post, including the image. Untick Footer Featured. Footer Featured is this area down here. Now, scroll to the bottom and click on Save Changes. Once the changes have been saved, go and take a look at your website. I'm just going to click on the Open tab that I have here, and then I'm going to press on the Refresh button to refresh the page. As you can see, all those items have now been removed. Now let's go ahead and change the footer. Go back to Theme Options. Scroll down to Copyrights text and delete it. Scroll to the bottom and press Save Changes. Now if we go back to the website and refresh the page, you will see that the writing which said Theme by My Theme Shop is now gone. Just for your information, see in the copyright text how it says Peter Stavro? It says this because that is the title of the WordPress site. If you remember at the start of this training series, when we installed our first WordPress site, it asks us to provide a title. This is where the footer is getting the information from. You can change your site title in the admin area under Settings, then General. We will look at this in more detail in another video. Okay, so now let's go ahead and change how the information under Recent Posts are displayed. See how there is some text from the post under the post title? We are going to remove that so only the post title and the post date is displayed. To do this, go back to the admin panel. Scroll down to Widgets and expand Special Recent Posts by clicking on the down arrow. Once the widgets options are displayed, scroll down and click on Layout Options. Under Post Content Display Mode, you will see that by default it is title plus thumbnail plus content. What we want to do is remove Post Content. Click the down arrow and select Title plus Thumbnail. Then click on the Save button. Now go take a look at your website. Again, I'm going to go to the tab I already have open and click on the Refresh button. Voila! The post content is now gone and the Recent Post widget now looks much cleaner. What we are going to do now is add the newsletter widget above Recent Posts to allow people to subscribe to us. Go to the admin panel, go to Plugins, and click on Add New. In the search box, type Newsletter and press Enter. Now, there are two awesome plugins that are both free that you can use for newsletters. One is called Newsletter and the other is called Mail Poet Newsletters. Which one is better is really a personal preference. Newsletter is easier to customize and I find that it's more flexible. Mail Poet, on the other hand, is very easy to use and very easy to implement. For this example, we are going to install the first plugin, Newsletter. Now that we've activated the plugin, let's go to Widgets so we can add it to the sidebar. Scroll down until you find the Newsletter widget and drag it into the sidebar. I'm going to place it between the Facebook Lightbox and the recent posts. In the title, I'm going to write Newsletter. In introduction, I'm going to write, enter your details below if you would like to stay up to date with the latest training material. Now down here, it says, use the tag subscription form to place the subscription form within your personal text. That means that the subscription form will appear anywhere you put that tag. I'm going to copy the tag and paste it below what I just wrote. Press the Save button and go take a look at your website. And there we go. We have now added a newsletter subscription form. This can be fully customized and I will show you how to do this in another video. To make our sidebar look a little better, we want to add a line to separate the widgets. We want to add a line here and another one here. Let's go back to our widget area to add these lines. I'm going to click the up arrow on the newsletter widget to close up its options. Now, to make the separating line, we do not need to install any special widget. To do this, we are going to use the text widget that is included with every WordPress installation. Find the text widget and drag it into the sidebar. In the title, simply write a long underline. You can create an underline by holding down Shift on your keyboard and pressing the dash key, which is usually located after the number 0. Create the underline as long as you think it needs to be and press the Save button. Now let's go take a look at the website to see if the line matches up nicely. Voila! The line has turned out nice. Now, if your line didn't turn out like this, then you need to play around with the length until you are satisfied with it. Once you are happy with the length of the line, then simply go add the bottom one. Go through the same steps as before to add another text widget, but this time place it under the newsletter widget. An easy way to make the line at the top exactly the same as the line at the bottom is to simply copy and paste the line from the top text widget to the bottom text widget. Click Save and go take a look at the changes on the website. And there we go. We have now set up the website with the same style as bestofnetworkmarketing.net. The only difference is that the website we just created does not have much content on it. I'm going to quickly cover the settings and user section in WordPress. You can access the settings section by going to Settings and then clicking on General. At the top, you can find the site title which we set at the very start. The title is shown here, and it's also where the themes footer obtains the website name from. The tagline is only visible in some themes. I know that with the point theme, it is hidden. However, with the default WordPress theme, after you install WordPress, it is visible. The tagline usually appears under the site title. I'm just going to type Digital Marketer here for the sake of it. WordPress address URL and site address URL are usually the same. Basically, the difference is that WordPress address is where your core WordPress files are located, and site address is what people type into their browser to reach your website. Here is the email you entered at the very start of this training series. It is the email that is connected to your website for admin purposes. If you scroll down, you can change things such as the time zone your WordPress site uses, the date format, the time format, what week it starts on, and the site language. Once you finish changing what you need, click on the Save button. I just want to quickly point out that the tagline is also used up here in the tabs. Let's take a look at Users. Go to Users and click on All Users. At the moment, there is only one user account. By creating additional user accounts, you can grant people access to the back end of your WordPress website. You can also limit the amount of access each user has. We'll take a look at this in just a minute. To add a new user, click on the Add New link. The next step is to fill in all of the fields, which is pretty straightforward. Let's quickly take a look at the default roles. Roles refer to the amount of access the new user will have. To summarize, the administrator has access to all of the administration features. The editor can publish and manage posts, including the posts of other users. The author can publish and manage their own posts. Contributor can write and manage their own posts, but cannot publish them. And subscriber can only manage their profile. Once you create a new user, you can test their access by logging out of yours and logging in as them.